Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are taking what might be the most beautiful deep dive possible. We're immersing ourselves in the canals and the history of Amsterdam. Now, everyone knows Amsterdam is iconic, right? The tulips, the gabled houses, the bikes. But our sources reveal something pretty critical.
Yeah, they do.
It is one of the easiest places on Earth for a first-time visitor to, well, to mess up.
That's absolutely right. I mean, the difference between a magical trip and a deeply frustrating one, it often comes down to just a handful of insider secrets.
Right.
We're talking about logistical errors like missing out on the must-see museums because tickets are gone months in advance,
Wow.
or the very real danger of being run over by a commuter on a bicycle. It happens.
So our mission today is simple. We're cutting through all the tourist fluff. This deep dive is about strategic planning, cultural immersion, and just mastering the logistics. We want to arm you with the knowledge to save money, skip the biggest crowds, and move through the city like a local. And yes, that includes the definitive trick to skipping the perpetual line for Amsterdam's most famous cookie.
And we're also going beyond the obvious party reputation. We want to appreciate Amsterdam as the economic and historic heart of the Dutch Golden Age.
The city built on what? Global trade, incredible engineering over a swamp, and...
And, crucially, a powerful and long-standing bastion of tolerance. That history is still visible in every sort of wonky canal house. Understanding that, it changes your entire experience.
Okay, let's start with logistics then, because planning matters here more than almost any other European capital. When should we go?
Right.
We all know summer is busy, but the sources we looked at identified a specific, like a high-stress window.
They did. That window is mid-April. You might think you're avoiding the summer crush, but that's peak time for the world-famous tulips.
Oh.
And crucially, it often lines up with Easter and student travel holidays, so you get this perfect storm of crowds and price hikes.
So what's the move?
If you want a more serene experience, you need to aim for the weekdays and really stick to late fall or winter. The city in the winter, with the canal lights, it's completely underrated.
Now, in terms of how long to stay, Amsterdam looks really compact on a map, but our research says you just can't do it in a weekend.
No, not at all. You need a minimum of 3 to 4 days to really appreciate the culture and explore the different neighborhoods outside that narrow tourist core.
And if you can stay longer?
If you can swing a longer trip, say a week, the Netherlands is one of the most efficient countries for day trips. Amsterdam's a fantastic base.
Like where?
You can hop on a train and be at Zaanstad to see those iconic windmills and clogs, or, seasonally visit Keukenhof Gardens. And don't forget the other cities nearby Haarlem, Utrecht, Rotterdam. They're all less than an hour away and gorgeous.
Okay, accommodation. This is where we run into our first major warning. So many people automatically book an Airbnb, right?
They do.
But our sources offer a very strong caution against doing that in Amsterdam.
Yeah, this is a multifaceted problem. Firstly, these rentals contribute heavily to a severe, ongoing housing shortage in the city.
Which is an ethical consideration.
It is. But on a purely practical level for you, the traveler, they introduce huge headaches. We saw accounts of people having to coordinate these awkward late check-ins, dealing with impossibly restrictive house rules.
That sounds stressful.
And even having to bank transfer massive deposits. We saw one example of 500 euros.
500 euros.
Yeah, and then you have to fight for weeks to get it back. It's not worth it.
Wow. So the firm recommendation is just book a normal hotel with a reception desk.
Absolutely. Eliminate that pain point. Now, location strategy. If you can afford it, stay central. It makes walking everywhere so easy.
And the budget option.
If you want a great budget option that feels really local, look across the river to the Noord neighborhood.
Noord, okay.
It's only a 5-minute trip on a free ferry right from the main train station. It feels totally separate from the hustle, and it's full of cool spots.
And while we're on where to stay, let's talk about the buildings themselves. Those narrow, leaning houses. It's not just for charm, is it?
Not at all. It's actually an ancient tax dodge.
I love this.
Historically, property taxes were based on the width of the facade facing the canal. So builders made them as narrow as possible and built deep and tall instead.
Which results in those famously steep, winding staircases.
Exactly. And that leads to a really key takeaway for you, the traveler.
Pack light.
You have to pack light. Trying to get a huge suitcase up one of those staircases is a nightmare.
That's a great practical tip. And for people looking for something a bit quirky.
Oh, there are options.
Yeah.
You can find houseboats. There's the botel, which is literally a hotel on a boat. and even hotels and old laboratories or repurposed cranes.
About crane.
A crane. Just really stress test those reviews before you book something like that.
Okay, let's move on to getting around. From the airport, Schiphol. What's the play?
This is the easiest decision you'll make. Always take the train. It's the fastest and cheapest option. We're talking less than 20 minutes into the city.
Way faster than a taxi.
Way faster. And a quick ticket hack here. Skip the yellow and blue machines at the station. They charge you an extra €1.
So what do you do instead?
Just use a contactless card to tap in and tap out.
Yeah.
Or you can book your ticket in advance online. Simple.
Okay, now we have to address the elephant in the room. Or rather, the danger on two wheels.
The bikes.
The biking culture. Most travel guides say, rent a bike, live like a local. But our sources, they push back on this. Hard.
Very hard. This is where strategic planning turns into survival advice.
Okay.
The consensus is clear. Only rent a bike if you are already a very skilled, confident cyclist.
Why is that?
Because cyclists in Amsterdam are not just, leisurely riding around. They are commuters. They are moving with extreme speed and focus.
They do not mess around.
Not at all. And they have zero patience for tourists who wobble or stop suddenly.
And as a pedestrian, you're basically an obstacle.
You are. You have to constantly watch for the bike lanes. They're the red asphalt paths. And you have to remember, you do not have the right of way.
So look both ways.
Look left, look right, look left again, seriously. Or you will get mowed down.
That sounds intense. So for most of us, it's public transport, the GVB system.
Precisely. You've got your main options, the free ferries to Nord, which are great, the trams for good views above ground, and the metro for speed.
Let's talk ticket strategy, because this is a key financial insight. A 1-hour ticket is 3.40.
Right. And a day ticket is €9.
So the math is pretty simple. If you're going to take public transport more than twice in one day, the day ticket pays for itself.
It does. But there's another layer to this, the specialized passes.
Like the Amsterdam travel ticket.
Exactly. That one bundles in the airport train with all the GVB transit. The other is the Amsterdam card, which includes attractions.
So when are they worth it?
The travel ticket is good only if you'll use the airport train and use transit heavily every single day. Otherwise, just stick with a simple day ticket and save some money.
Okay, so once we're moving around, let's talk culture. And the first, most critical rule of Amsterdam is about timing.
It really is. The golden rule is simple. You have to book major attractions, and we mean the Anne Frank House and the Van Gogh Museum, weeks, if not months, in advance.
Months.
Oh, yeah. During peak season, they sell out completely. We even found the specific timing for the Anne Frank House.
Okay, what is it?
Tickets go on sale exactly 6 weeks prior. Tuesday mornings, 10 a.m. Central European Time. You need to set an alarm for it.
So if you don't book ahead, you just don't get in.
You do not get in.
Huh.
End of story.
Now back to those bundled passes, the Amsterdam card and the Go City Pass. This is vital. What's the big caveat?
This is a major insight that can save you a lot of frustration. The Amsterdam card, while it's great for some things, it critically excludes the Anne Frank House.
Okay, that's huge.
And since 2022, it also excludes the Van Gogh Museum. So you have to crunch the numbers. If those two museums are your priority, the card might not actually save you any money.
Right. So speaking of museums, let's start with the big one, the Rijksmuseum. What should we focus on there, beyond just, seeing the masterpieces?
The Rijksmuseum tells the story of the Dutch Golden Age, the 17th century, and the art directly reflects the new wealth from that global trading economy.
So it's not all religious paintings?
No, it's the opposite. You see these huge halls with paintings by Rembrandt and Vermeer that were commissioned by the new wealthy merchant class.
So what should we look for?
Look for the domestic scenes, like Vermeer's light on a woman reading a letter. And look at the collections of silverwork and these incredibly intricate dollhouses. They are status symbols. It's the history of global capitalism right there in the art.
That reframing is fantastic. It makes it a timeline, not just a gallery. What about the Van Gogh Museum? Why is this story so powerful in Amsterdam?
Well, it's this incredible narrative of deferred recognition. He was born in the Netherlands, of course, but he only sold one painting in his lifetime.
Just one?
Just one. The reason this massive museum exists is because of the tireless marketing efforts of his brother's wife, Joanna Bonger, after he died.
Wow.
And the museum shows his whole journey, how he was self-taught, how he drew inspiration from people like Gauguin, and then how his style just exploded into what we know today. It's amazing.
Now, To really understand the city, we have to connect that history of wealth with its history of tolerance. The Anne Frank house is a crucial starting point, but our sources say to go deeper,
Absolutely. Tolerance in Amsterdam was often economically driven. Merchants cared more about commerce than religious dogma.
which created a safe haven.
Exactly. A safe haven for persecuted groups, like Jews fleeing the Inquisition. So to get a full picture, we'd recommend a specialized walking tour of the Jewish Quarter, plus visits to the Jewish History Museum and the Portuguese Synagogue.
So getting oriented quickly is key. And for that, our sources strongly recommend a paid walking tour on your first day.
Yes, a paid one. That foundational knowledge is priceless. It helps you build a mental map of the city, you get real local tips, and you find these hidden gems.
Like what?
Like seeing the headquarters of the Dutch East India Company or discovering these beautiful hidden internal courtyards you would never find on your own.
Okay, let's talk about food. First strategic tip. Be very, very wary of places that have gone viral on social media.
Oh, this is huge, especially on TikTok. Those spots are often overhyped. They prioritize how they look over how they taste, and they lead to these massive, time-wasting lines.
So you waste hours of your trip.
Exactly. Look for recommendations from smaller, authentic food blogs, not the big influencers.
Okay, speaking of lines, let's deliver on our promise. The line outside Vent Staple Cookies is legendary. What's the secret to skipping it?
It's so simple, feels like cheating. You pre-order your cookies on their website.
That's it.
That's it. You arrive, you skip the entire line, walk up to the door, and you press the little golden doorbell. Someone comes out, hands you your box, and you're on your way. It's
Right.
genius.
That is worth the price of admission right there. Now, a critical vocabulary check. If you want an espresso, you go to a cafe.
A cafe, correct.
What happens if you accidentally walk into a coffee shop?
You will quickly discover they sell greener, smokier, herbier things. Do not confuse them.
Right, and a brown bar.
A brown bar is a traditional, cozy, dark wood pub, perfect for a beer. A classic example is a place called In Apegen.
For Dutch specialties, you have to try a fresh stroopwafel, maybe from a spot like Rudy's, or grab a snack from an automat vending machine.
Yes, a croquette or bitterballen. But the real culinary challenge, the one tied to history, is the raw herring.
Allen's Nui.
That's the one. Served raw, brined, with raw onions and pickles. The thought of it can be daunting,
For sure.
but trust the sources. The taste is remarkably less fishy than you'd expect. It's silky, almost like sashimi.
And it's not just a quirky food, it's historically significant.
It is completely tied to the rise of the Golden Age. The Dutch methods of preserving fish in brine let sailors stay at sea longer, which fueled their whole trading empire. It's the taste of history.
But there's a practical warning.
Yes. Watch out for the seagulls. They are notorious for stealing the herring right out of your hand mid-bite.
That's hilarious. Okay, because of the colonial empire, the Indonesian and Surinamese food is incredible. The must-try is rishtafel.
Oh, you have to try Rijksmuseum. It's a feast. It lets you sample maybe 20 small Indonesian dishes all at once. It's a wonderful way to experience the complexity of that cuisine.
Finally, markets. The Albert Cape Market in De Pijp.
A must visit. For food, for flea market finds, for just soaking up the atmosphere.
And cheese.
Well, the tourist shops like Henry Willig have tons of free samples, and you should definitely do that. But for buying cheese, locals say the markets have better value and variety. And don't forget to explore the Jordaan neighborhood. It's got a really cool, trendy vibe.
Okay, we've covered logistics, history, food. Let's end with the atmosphere. The canals. The Grachtengordel, the canal belt, is a UNESCO site, but is often so crowded.
Right. So the key here is what we're calling the serenity hack. To really experience the canals without the crowds, you have to go early.
How early?
We're talking an early morning walk, especially on a Sunday before 10 a.m. along the famous 9 streets. The light is beautiful, and the city is basically yours.
What about a canal cruise? It feels touristy, but it's also kind of a must-do.
It is. It gives you a perspective you can't get from land. The strategic approach is to avoid the massive midday boats.
So look for something smaller.
Look for smaller, covered early morning or even private boat tours. They can navigate the smaller canals and get you those unique photos, like the famous shot of 7 bridges all lined up.
Finally, we have to talk about De Wallen, the red light district. It's part of the oldest city core, and it's emblematic of Amsterdam's history.
It is, and it's important to approach it with respect. It's a legal, regulated profession, and the city's ability to manage it is central to its identity.
So, any tips for visiting?
If you choose to go, Walk through in the morning for quiet views of the architecture. Or go around 9 p.m. to see it active, but before the peak chaos later on.
And the number one rule?
Respect is paramount. Never ever take photos.
Absolutely. So to wrap up, what are the quick, practical reminders?
Always dress for unpredictable weather. Wind and rain can appear out of nowhere. Carry a small day bag. Big bags have to be checked at museums. And carry some euro coins for public toilets.
They're not free.
They're not. They cost about 70 cents.
And the overarching theme we've been building on.
Respect. Remember, Amsterdam is someone's home. Don't shout at night, stay out of the bike lanes, and just be mindful. That mindset is what makes you a strategic, successful visitor.
That is a masterclass in strategic travel. Thank you for synthesizing all these essential tips.
My pleasure. To synthesize the city itself, I think Amsterdam is this wonderful tension. It's a tension between its deep historical roots, the 17th century wealth, the merchant empire building on a swamp.
Right.
And its current progressive reality. Tolerance, green urbanism, and amazing multicultural food.
It's incredible how those historical choices, like the narrow houses, still impact us today.
They absolutely do. The facade tax led to those narrow, steep houses. And that historical challenge contrasts so sharply with the city's reputation now as a leader in progressive urbanism, prioritizing bikes, investing in modern areas like Nord. The city is a living history of negotiation.
A fascinating way to put it. So for the listener who's already planning their second trip or maybe a longer stay, what's the final piece of knowledge they should look into?
If you're going to explore the country beyond Amsterdam or stay for a while, look into the museum card. It's a museum pass. It costs about €75, but it gives you year-long access to 500 Dutch museums all over the country. It includes almost all the major ones except Anne Frank House.
Oh.
It is a phenomenal value if you really plan to maximize your knowledge gain.
Now you know the secrets. Use that knowledge and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.